Hello there. Tonight's brush, and I've had it soaking, is my Thader Premium Boar. I'm going to set it back in the water and let it soak a bit because it's a boar. The soap tonight we're going to use is Palmolive Classic. Now this is Palmolive stick. And you see I don't really do a lot of rinsing in these glass containers. In a metal container I rinse it clean and let it dry out because I know that moisture can sometimes get up underneath the bottom and cause rust and issues. Most people say, the containers are coated or whatever with some type of finish. Doesn't matter. I've seen enough posts on that to realize that I want to make sure it's dry. But with a glass container, I don't really bother. But this is Palmolive stick that I've crushed into the bottom of this container so that I can lather it with a brush or load a brush with it. But I want to talk today about something. This is a Feather SS Kamisori. It comes in a little plastic case to guard the edge. You guys have seen these. These are popular razors, and I'm having a bit of trouble with hand trimmers. Hopefully this won't be bloody. But this was a gift from a friend. A very, very good friend, and I've had it for a few months. And he's asked a couple times, hey, have you used that razor? Because I think he was expecting to see it on the channel. But what I was trying to do was put together a kit of different readily available shavettes, okay, and kind of do a video presenting the shavette options, the most popular that are available, and I just haven't been able to do it. I can't really afford to buy them, so I've been holding off, and if I don't shave with these on a video soon, I probably never will. And this is a fantastic razor. But now I also have another razor in this style that was designed after this one, but it's a much cheaper option. It's it's a budget option. Another very good friend of mine sent it to me right along the same time as this one arrived, and it's basically a copy of this one, and it's a fantastic razor as well. It's not made as well as far as the materials and workmanship as in this blade, but it's a wonderful razor. It shaves every bit as good as this blade, as this razor does. It's got good weight and all of that. It all comes down to what you prefer, and I'll be doing a video of that one so that maybe I can present, a really high quality, well-made blade razor for those that have the money to be able to afford something like this, or want, what they perceive as higher quality, and then maybe another video for those that either don't have the money and are interested in trying this style, or those that want to try this style but they don't want to spend this kind of money because they're not sure if they'll like it. That razor, I cannot tell the difference in the shave between the two. I can hold them in my hands and see the difference in workmanship, but it's real close. So these are not comparison videos to say one is better than the other. These are just to highlight not the differences between them, but the two options that I have in this type of razor, and let you make up your own mind which one you would like to try if that's your bent. But now this came to me with a Schick, I believe it's called a Proline blade that was already in it, and then my friend sent along these Feather Professional Light blades. These are good blades for the kind of beard that I have, but the Schick That Schick is a slamming blade, and I will be purchasing some of them because they're really, really good. They're better than those. Now, I don't know what the Feather Pros in the black and white box are like. Everybody says they're the best, but these are pretty good, and they work real well. I have several shaves on this blade, and it's still going strong. So let's sit this over here. Let's put a little bit of warm water on top of the puck. Then I'm going to dump that, and I'm going to get my brush and shake it and start loading. It is raining like Noah's Ark flood, okay? So if you hear any roaring going on in the background, stuff like that, that is the rain hitting the tin roof of my trailer, which I absolutely love. A tin roof, particularly when it's raining. And if I had all the money in the world and wanted to build a home, it would probably be sort of an old farmy style house with a tin roof. Or at least I'd make sure that the roof over top of my bedroom had tin on it. But anyway, let's go ahead and wet the face. I've got probably 3-4 days worth of growth, something like that. I really haven't taken or paid attention to it. So Palmolive is slamming good stuff. I believe that it's been discontinued. Either that or they just stopped selling it in the U.S. I can't remember. But I've got this and 2 more sticks that I haven't touched that were sent to me by friends. And when they're gone, it will be a sad day. Because this is lovely, old school type soap, in my opinion. Just wonderful. It needs a lot of water. That's all right. There we go. That'll work. There's a lot of water in this lather, and it's still wonderfully thick. Let me rinse my hands. Make sure I get all the soap off, because this soap is slick as snot, and that Kamisori, or however you want to pronounce it, you better not have any soap on your hands. So how's everybody doing? I just hold it either like this or like this, however way works. Lovely. It's a wonderful razor. And the soap is so slick, I can barely pull my skin. And I've had a problem with this eye. My left eye is weaker, significantly weaker than my other eye. It's very blurry. And sometimes when I turn my head this way and kind of turn my eyes that way, I get really dizzy and lightheaded, and that's happening right now. And when I move focus, both of the eyes are struggling to focus, and they're doing it independently because one is so blurry. And I don't know what's going on, but I haven't been able to see an eye doctor because there's none open because of this stupid BS pandemic stuff. I understand there's social distancing and crap like that, but to cut off something like an eye doctor, there could seriously be something wrong. I have friends that have cancer and need surgery. They can't get it because they're not accepting it. Elective surgery. That's not elective, dude. That's cancer. Okay, so some of this is ticking me off. Anyway, I don't want to get on the discussion of that because a lot of you would not like what I think. Just flat out. And I'm not saying that this stuff is all fake, because it's definitely not. But the politicians, the people in leadership, the media, and certain segments of the population have gone way past what's necessary to deal with this. And that's all I'm going to say. But protect yourself, keep yourself safe. Look, I fully understand what I'm dealing with, and I make sure that I keep my hands clean, that I don't get near people, that the surfaces in my home are washed down with bleach water and stuff. I'm taking it serious. I'm not stupid. But when people that have cancer can't get a surgery that they need because it's elective, it's considered an elective surgery, or when someone like me who's diabetic and might have glaucoma, but I don't know because I can't get to an eye doctor. When you got situations like that, that's absolute utter stupidity, period. Anyway, there are people that need to see a doctor for something besides COVID-19. And please don't come on here and say, well, they're trying to keep everybody safe from it, so they don't want them in I'll just delete your comment because it's stupid. Okay? To not help people that really truly need help just because there's some kind of pandemic going on. People that are dying from cancer still need help. Okay? And that's my rant for today. Excuse me. You have to watch this. Like I said, my hands are trembling pretty bad. But you have to watch the commies because they'll spin. That's why a lot of times I'll put my finger down here. They'll spin and your angle will be off. So if you try one of these, keep that in mind and understand you're going to have to be careful. Now, if you look at my beard, you'll see that that's not super close on that first pass. There's a lot left behind. A straight razor would not do that. However, if you've got enough growth, a DE will. You need to keep in mind that traditional shaving at the end of the day is about beard reduction. So this will go away on the next pass. But I want to point that out because people You need to know that and understand that. And I have 3-4 days of growth, so it's all relative to that as well. And I'm sorry, I'm not feeling very well because of that eye. And that's ongoing. It's something that I've been dealing with for a couple of months. But like I said, I can't get to an eye doctor to have it checked out. Against the grain. This soap is so wonderfully slick. I flipping love it. One of the other things about this razor, I don't know if you saw how much lather I had on that, but you have to understand it. That's all the blade extension you have, okay? It's not very much. So you're going to have to rinse the blade. That's slick as if I still had soap on it. I love palm olive for that reason. But yeah, it'll clog just like a DE. And my hands are trembling and making that turn. Sorry. Lovely. Just doing some touch up. While I'm here. Lovely. And I'm going to touch up under my neck. Much better. So fantastic shave. Very comfortable. Let me rinse my face. And I want to kind of show you what I do with the razor once I'm done shaving. I treat this thing the same way that I would a DE when it comes to post-shave. And you can do what you want. This is what I do. This blade, if you see the back of that spine, what you're doing to load it and unload it, you're squeezing the back of this spine. So I have a tendency, I don't have the strength to do it. So what I'm going to do, let me dry it. You can squeeze it and the blade will come out. But I don't have the hand strength for it. So if you push up on it, if you can't do that, if you push up on it, you'll see that the blade, the guard comes out. And you can empty it. And the blade comes out. And what I do is rinse that blade off and either pat it dry on newspaper, or like right now what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, is just very carefully handling the blade and drying it off. I'll sit it over here for a minute and I'll take the razor and dry it off and make sure that it is clean. If not, I'll run it, and that's just to try to blow any moisture out that's hiding. This is stainless steel, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to clean my gear. And if I want to, I might let that, and I'm just going to put it back together. And I might let this blade set out for a few hours to get it completely dry, but mostly I'm just going to pop that blade in there. Now, let me get it out. Now it's coming out no problem. One of the things I like about these feather blades, you see those corners? They're rounded. That's a good thing, because it lets me, it helps you not to be as in danger of, scratching up your face with the corners of the blade. And you can adjust the blade extension just a little bit, but I would not leave it too far out because you could end up with the blade moving, I would believe. But, I mean, I can squeeze this. And you see that blade dropped way in, or I can adjust it. Takes a little bit, but it's worth it. I can kind of make the extension a bit more, depending on what I want. Good razor, great shaver, really well built. Even the handle material here, you can ball it. It's not going to hurt it. But one thing I would say, people go, well, how do I disinfect my razor? Dude, if it's your razor, you don't need to disinfect it. I see this all the time on forums, on the Facebook groups. You know, should I boil it? Should I use alcohol on it? Should I use barbicide on it? Should I do this? Should I do that? If it's your razor and you keep it clean, soap and water, okay, it's got your germs on it. You're not going to get infected from your razor because you didn't disinfect it. Now, if you're using a razor that belongs to somebody else, disinfect the sucker before you use it and disinfect it after you use it so that when you send it back to him, it's clean. Okay? A bit of barbicide works wonders for that, but it's not something you should do after every shave. If it's your razor, you don't need it. And people need to get a grip, okay, when it comes to stuff like that. There's a lot of guys that will use a DE and they'll take and kind of loosen it up a little bit. If it's a butterfly, or loosen it up a little bit if it's a 3-piece, so that the water runs through, and they'll run that over that blade and rinse it real good and sit it down and let it dry and use the thing for 5 or 6 shaves. Some people a lot longer than that. It's not going to hurt you. So you don't have to disinfect your razor every time you use it. Matter of fact, if you're using it and putting caustic chemicals and stuff like that on it over and over and over again, depending on the razor, it might not last very long. So, my opinion, for what it's worth. But anyway, Feather Kamisori, Feather Professional Light Blade. Yeah, I don't want to make sure it's not upside down. Good stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.